I begin by addressing the current emotional climate gripping our highly sensitive community. In a world filled with rapid notifications and an endless stream of information, our sensitive nervous systems, capable of profound empathy and attuned to the smallest emotional cues, are pushed to their limits. I stand here to share an insight into how social media, with its constant updates and emotionally charged content, has overstimulated our inner world, leaving us both exhausted and yearning for genuine connection. In these early moments, I want you to discover that the fatigue you feel is not just a fleeting phase, but a significant signal that something deeper is at stake. The emotional burnout and dating fatigue that many highly sensitive people experience are not random occurrences. They are the natural result of a system overloaded by superficial interactions, the expectation to perform on digital platforms, and the emotional disparity seen when sensitive minds encounter emotionally unavailable partners. As I lay these ideas before you, I invite you to awaken to the truth that behind every swipe, like, and comment lies an intricate interplay of our innate sensitivities and external digital pressures. I touch upon the observable reality: sensitive women finding themselves caught in a widening emotional gap, and sensitive men struggling under the heavy burden of societal expectations to appear invulnerable. In this moment of clarity, I urge you to pause and reflect on how your interactions with digital media often echo into your personal relationships, draining your spirit and distancing you from real, nurturing experiences. This narrative ushers us towards a journey of understanding, healing, and reconnection with our true selves. As I continue, I invite the listener into a closer examination of the emotional burnout and dating fatigue that many highly sensitive people face. In a society that values speed and brevity, our rich internal landscapes are inundated with a constant bombardment of information. The very platforms designed to connect us ironically contribute to a sense of isolation and overwhelm. Many of us find that our daily interactions online, though seemingly vibrant, leave us feeling more drained than uplifted. It is not uncommon to observe a cycle where the emotional inputs from digital interactions leave our minds cluttered and our hearts fatigued. As I paint this picture, I consider the ways in which sensitive women navigate a widening emotional gap. They often find themselves giving more of their empathy and emotional energy than they receive, resulting in feelings of imbalance and loneliness. Meanwhile, sensitive men are frequently caught between the demands of modern societal expectations and their own instinctive need to honor their true feelings. They struggle with the pressure to appear strong and stoic, even when their internal emotional landscape is a tumultuous sea of sensitivity and care. In these contexts, the online world amplifies vulnerabilities rather than alleviating them, turning simple interactions into moments of significant emotional labor. I examine moments when notifications, likes, and comments, which on the surface are positive affirmations, become weights that drag the soul deeper into fatigue. This constant need to perform and be present in a digital arena diverts attention from developing authentic relationships off-screen, where the language of connection is spoken through subtle glances, gentle touches, and shared silences. The evidence is noticeable in the tired eyes of friends once eager to engage and the recurring feelings of disconnection despite being connected all the time. The struggle to balance digital engagement with personal well-being resonates deeply for those with highly sensitive nervous systems who perceive not only words, but the very undercurrent of emotions in every online exchange. In this era of digital overload, it becomes clear that our modern dating and social landscapes are not designed for the delicate nature of sensitive souls, and our quest for deep, meaningful relationships suffers as a result. Reflecting on these struggles invites us to consider how our digital environment perpetuates a cycle of temporary connection and prolonged isolation. The incessant stream of online interactions often blurs the boundary between superficial engagement and what truly nourishes our souls. Behind every double tap and fleeting comment lies an expectation to feel perpetually active and connected. Yet, for highly sensitive people, every interaction carries a weight, and each moment of engagement contributes to a cumulative sense of emotional overload. The relentless pace of social media can create a false sense of intimacy while simultaneously depleting our reserve of emotional resilience. It is as if our inner world is in constant high alert, making us keenly aware. The disparity between what we crave, real, heartfelt connection, and what we receive in digital exchanges leaves us feeling incomplete and exhausted. In light of these observations, it becomes evident that the digital landscape, while offering convenience, also demands a high emotional cost from those who feel deeply. The challenge, therefore, lies not in rejecting technology outright, but in reclaiming a balance that honors our need for genuine, restorative interactions. The very tools designed to make us feel closer can, paradoxically, widen the gap between our inner and outer worlds, leaving us to question what we have sacrificed in the name of connection. Through acknowledging these truths, we step closer to understanding the profound impact of modern digital culture on our emotional well-being. Delving deeper into the underlying truth, I explore why our highly sensitive systems respond so intensely to the modern digital landscape. It begins with the design of social media platforms, which are engineered to capture and hold our attention using endless algorithms that deliver emotionally charged content continuously. These platforms know that a quick like, share, or comment triggers the release of dopamine, creating a fleeting moment of pleasure. For a highly sensitive person, however, the repeated stimulation does more than create momentary highs. It effectively tips the balance of our delicate nervous systems into a state of perpetual alert. Our brains, wired to seek connection and validation, are caught in a loop that leaves them more drained than ever. The very signals that should nourish our emotional well-being instead translate into chronic overstimulation, resulting in mind-numbing burnout and a pervasive sense of emotional fatigue. Modern technology amplifies this response in ways that are only just beginning to be understood. Studies indicate that the constant bombardment of digital stimuli overloads neural circuits, making it difficult for the brain to transition from a state of high arousal to one of rest and recuperation. For highly sensitive people, this means that everyday interactions are laden with unintended consequences. A barrage of notifications becomes a source of continual stress rather than occasional connection. The rapid-fire nature of digital communication leaves little room for reflection, forcing our thoughts and emotions into a relentless rhythm that is both exhausting and unsustainable. Neuroscience suggests that when our nervous systems are chronically overtaxed by external stimuli, our ability to process emotions deeply and authentically becomes compromised. In addition, societal expectations further compound the issue. There is often an implicit demand for speedy responses, unwavering energy, and an almost mechanical presentation of emotions in our online personas. These expectations create internal conflicts, especially for women who intuitively channel deep empathy and often sacrifice their own well-being to maintain harmony in relationships. For men, on the other hand, the pressure to conform to ideals of strength and emotional control generates an inner discord, a continuous struggle to suppress feelings that are both natural and necessary. This societal double standard leaves both genders grappling with the challenge of reconciling their sensitive natures with rigid cultural norms that celebrate superficial resilience over genuine emotional expression. The truth is that our inherent biological makeup, combined with the relentless pace of digital communication, produces a potent mix of stress and isolation. The algorithms that power social media don't account for the unique needs of highly sensitive individuals. Instead, they push us towards a performance of connectivity that is as unsustainable as it is illusory. Our sensitive systems are designed for depth, reflection, and real-life connection. Patronizing digital interactions can never replace the healing power found in authentic human touch and the nuanced subtleties of in-person conversation. This imbalance is not a personal failing, but rather a reflection of the modern world's design and the cultural values that prioritize speed and volume over quality and depth. It is important to recognize that sensitivity, in this context, is not a liability but a profound gift, one that requires environments capable of honoring and nurturing it. As emerging research continues to illuminate the science behind sensory processing and emotional regulation, it becomes increasingly clear that a recalibration of our relationship with digital technology is essential. We are called to question and transform the systems that have dictated so much of our emotional lives, reclaiming space for genuine interaction amid the ever-present digital noise. In understanding this truth, we are empowered to seek alternatives, real connections that honor the complexity and beauty of our sensitive souls. To further unravel this intricate tapestry, consider that our sensory processing is designed to detect even the slightest changes in our surroundings, a trait once essential for survival in unpredictable natural settings. In today's digital era, however, this sensitivity is triggered by a constant barrage of notifications, news flashes, and visual stimuli that were unimaginable in our evolutionary past. Each ping and flash competes for our attention, leaving our minds with little opportunity for the calm reflection that nurtures deep emotional insight. This overload forces us to prioritize rapid responses over thoughtful engagement, blurring the line between meaningful interaction and digital distraction. Embracing this understanding reveals that the stress we experience is not a personal shortcoming, but a clear signal of an environment out of sync with our needs. Recognizing this, we can advocate for change, structuring our interactions in ways that honor our natural rhythms. When we adjust how we engage with technology, we open a door to restoring balance, fostering creativity, and building communities that value genuine human connection over superficial digital exchanges. This shift heals our overtaxed nerves and paves the way for a compassionate future reflecting our inner resilience that is both genuine. Transitioning into the realm of solutions, I share strategies that empower highly sensitive individuals to reclaim balance and foster authentic connection in a world overloaded with digital stimulation. The first step is to become aware of your digital consumption patterns and recognize the signals from your nervous system when it becomes overwhelmed. Creating regular digital detox periods, dedicated times when you step away from screens, allows your mind and body to recover and restore equilibrium. These intentional breaks are not about abandoning technology, but about setting healthy boundaries that protect your sensitive nature. Another actionable approach involves curating your online environment. Begin by reassessing the content you consume. Follow accounts and pages that inspire, educate, and uplift, while gently unfollowing those that trigger stress or diminish your sense of self-worth. This curation transforms social media from a source of anxiety into a tool for growth and genuine inspiration. As you make these changes, you may start to notice a subtle shift in your emotional landscape, where every digital interaction becomes an opportunity for mindful engagement rather than a trigger for burnout. Building on this, practicing mindfulness and self-regulation techniques can profoundly impact how you experience digital interactions. Simple exercises such as focused breathing, brief meditations, or even a short walk outside can recalibrate your nervous system after periods of intense stimulation. Over time, these practices help in transforming reactive patterns into responses marked by clarity and calm. A consistent mindfulness practice not only creates space for reflection, but also deepens your capacity to connect authentically with others in both online and offline settings. In addition to these internal practices, nurturing real-life relationships plays a pivotal role in healing. Invest in face-to-face connections that honor your need for deep, meaningful interaction. Prioritize quality time with trusted friends and family who offer empathy, understanding, and a genuine presence. Such connections act as a buffer against the depersonalizing effects of digital overload. By engaging in activities that foster genuine human contact, like community gatherings, nature hikes, or simply sharing a meal, you create an environment where your sensitivity is not seen as a burden, but as a strength that enriches every encounter. Finally, consider integrating creative outlets and reflective practices into your daily routine. Writing, art, or music can provide a channel for expressing the nuanced emotions that arise from a sensitive disposition. As you explore these creative paths, you may unlock new ways to process and regulate your emotional experiences. In doing so, you reclaim your narrative from one dominated by digital distraction to one that champions authenticity, self-care, and real connection. This holistic approach ensures that your sensitive nature is seen as a source of healing and empowerment, rather than a vulnerability. Adopting these strategies creates a life marked by intentional living and deep, restorative relationships. It is a path of transformation where each step, no matter how small, contributes to a larger journey of reclaiming your emotional well-being. Every mindful pause, every curated interaction, and every moment of genuine connection serves as a building block for a future where technology supports rather than undermines your true self. Embrace these changes and allow your sensitive soul to thrive in an environment that honors its unique needs and gifts. To further solidify these changes, it is crucial to establish a routine that celebrates both digital and real-world experiences. Set aside time each day for self-reflection and engage in activities that replenish your emotional energy. Whether it is a quiet moment with a favorite book, a restorative walk in nature, or a creative session that lets your inner voice shine, these practices anchor you in the present and fortify your resilience against external pressures. Over time, consistently integrating these techniques transforms your digital habits from sources of distress into gateways for mindful enrichment. As you build a more balanced life, you will discover that your capacity for joy increases and your relationships grow deeper. Remember that every small adjustment in how you interact with technology is a step toward reclaiming your emotional space and fostering a life of authentic connection. This journey of transformation is an ongoing process, but with patience and commitment, you can create a harmonious blend of digital presence and real-life fulfillment. Celebrate your transformation. In wrapping up these reflections, I reiterate that the journey from digital overwhelm to genuine connection begins with acknowledging the signals from our sensitive systems. The problem is real. The underlying causes are deeply rooted in our modern environment, and effective solutions exist to restore balance. By embracing mindful practices, curating our online spaces, and nurturing authentic relationships, you can reclaim your emotional well-being. Each step taken is a transformative act, paving the way for a life filled with clarity, healing, and true connection. I invite you to continue exploring these principles and consider further guidance through Healing and Love. Every moment you spend in self-care is a powerful affirmation of your strength and sensitivity. These are not weaknesses, they're signals. Sensitivity is your system asking for truth, regulation, and real connection. Suié González, Healing and Love. Embrace your gift of sensitivity and let it guide you toward profound inner peace.